pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. I pledge allegiance to the under God, one and indivisible.
All right, please remain standing. Join me in the prayer.
Okay, please join me as I pray. As always, Father, we're thankful for the blessings of this place that we live and the day and everything you've given us, Lord, and we humble ourselves before you this morning. We bow our heads in adoration because, Lord, we're certainly not worthy of all the blessings you give us. We confess that we fall short as a human race, not just us individually, but as a human race on everything that you expected out of us. And Lord, we're thankful that you love us in spite of all of our shortcomings. And Father, this morning we have a lot of issues going on in the world and in the country and in our state and even in our county. And leadership, it's so important that they empty themselves of all of their own desires and all of their feelings that they have and fill themselves with your wisdom and your presence so that they will make decisions that will benefit all the citizens of not only this county and state and country, but the world. It's an awesome responsibility, and I just pray your wisdom fall upon them this morning so that citizens of this county will benefit from your wisdom. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Here.
Commissioner Casterline,
Here.
Commissioner Russo, here, Commissioner Dupnick,
Here.
Judge Garza.
Here, we've got a full court and a quorum. At this time, we'll hear from citizens to be heard. Ms. Jocelyn. Good morning.
Morning. I wasn't hoping to go first. My name's Jen Jocelyn, 109 Lee Circle. I just wanted to put a face. I gave all of you a letter recently within the past month. I'm a teacher by profession, 26 years. This is my 26th year full-time. I took the day off to be here. That's my profession. However, my passion is dog rescue. You've probably heard my voice or seen my name on a lot of things. We've had a stressful last week. We got through it. We had a lot of help from the community. We're grateful for Empty Kennel, Melissa Escoval, Wendy, Pet Ones, a lot of other people. I just want to kind of personalize, give a face to some of the things. I wanted to talk about a couple dogs. I started with Tana Neal in January of 2017. One of my first dogs that I got rescued, a guy in San Antonio in California reached out to me. He wanted this dog named Finnegan, a little rat terrier. And as a teacher, my theme is facing challenges and overcoming obstacles. It was rough getting a crate and the flight and transport and everything. We did it. He got to California. I'm still in contact with Matt Moran, who adopted him. The second one that I'd like to talk about, or two, Bandit and Roscoe, who came down with parvo in the summer of 2017, prior to the hurricane. We were just starting out as a rescue. I spent $750. We pulled them from the shelter. We got them parvo treatment. The hurricane hit and I had to evacuate with them and 7 others, three cats from cattails and 4 of my own. 9 animals in a hotel for a couple of weeks was challenging, but we did it, and those dogs survived. They got, I drove them, I met with the driver in the Walmart parking lot, and they ended up in Iowa, and they're safe. The next one I'd like to talk about is a little puppy named Chex, who I pulled from the shelter a couple months ago, also had broken with parvo. Dr. Mercer helped give him meds, got meds on board. I took him home, stayed up nights, giving him sub-Q fluids and feeding him with a syringe. He survived. He got his adopter picked him up this Saturday after meeting him at the winery last weekend. The third I would like to talk about is Patty, who is sitting in my living room as we speak. I pulled her from the shelter at the end of May. because we were starting to get full on space because of the incident that happened this spring. She was spayed and she recently finished heartworm treatment, and she leaves on Thursday for transport to Iowa. And the last one, and then I'll give up my time. The last one I'd like to talk about, and this one affects me the most, is a little dog named Axel, who was found in the ditch in Lamar. He had some injury to his leg where his bone was shattered. He was brought into the shelter on a Sunday when I work and all of these are challenges and obstacles that we've overcome. He was brought in on a Sunday into the shelter. I was working every Sunday, as I always do, for about 4 hours, walking dogs. And on this day, Lori, Caesar, and Letitia were also there because the tech called in and they were cleaning kennels and helping the cats. I was cleaning kennels, and this little dog came in. I called Dr. Mercer. She agreed to see him. She was going out of town. She gave me pain meds. I took him home, got him into Taft. They amputated his leg on Tuesday. This little dog, about a month and a half ago, we sent him to emotional rescue up in Minnesota, who takes in wheelie pups and paralyzed pups. A guy named Kurt Steele in Arizona heard the whisper, saw the dog, booked a plane, booked a hotel, booked a rental car, and got up to Minnesota. He called me, contacted me. He said, maybe it's not meant to work out. He said, they will not take my credit card. His wife, he's a recent widow. His wife passed in July. And because he had not switched out the credit cards, he was not able to rent a one-way car to Arizona. He was about given up. I contacted the rescue. She went and picked him up, sold him her SUV, and he and the puppy drove back to Arizona. He sends me updates on Axel. He's doing well. He's in training. He's now a little ambassador for foster, for rescue and for adoption. So my point is, we have challenges, but we can overcome them. We're not asking for money, or I'm not here representing Another Chance. Tana doesn't even know I'm here, or she'd probably kill me. We're not asking for money. We're asking for time. Thank you. And I'd also invite all of you to come out to the shelter and put a face on these animals. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a couple that Commissioner Rousseau is going to read off of.
Okay, first one is Lowell Rothschild, 2615 Business Highway 35 North, Rockport, Texas. His comment: I would like to commend Wendy Laubach on her leadership in drafting the volunteer agreement for the Aransas County Animal Control volunteers. Within 2 weeks of taking on the agreement, she drafted a document that was legally sound, appropriate in scope for its intended purpose, and agreeable to the volunteers. Her agreement protects the interests of the county employees, volunteers, taxpayers, and the animals at the county animal control. She should be commended for her hard work, service, and dedication to the county. The second one, Deidre Ciriella. Address is 2615 Highway 35 North, Rockport, Texas. I am pleased to report that a petition encouraging no-kill efforts at the county shelter has already gained more than 700 signatures, with more signatures coming in each day. The petition expresses support for the county's steps over the past several years to reduce euthanasia for space at Aransas County Animal Care, and respectfully encourages the county to continue to work to save as many animals as possible and strive to make the facility a no-kill shelter. The strong showing of initial support demonstrates that county residents support county efforts to continue the course of reducing euthanasia for space. I commend both the county for its efforts and Aransas County residents for their concern and compassion. I would be remiss to mention the reduction in euthanasia at the county shelter without giving special thanks to local rescues, Another Chance, and Cattails, as these two groups have saved over 4,000 animals at the county shelter over the last 5 years, with Another Chance saving over 2,000 dogs and Cattails saving over 2,000 cats.
All right, we got one left. Commissioner Dupnick's going to read.
I'm reading this on behalf of Wendy Laubach. She's under the weather and we do wish her a speedy recovery. So Wendy Laubach, 37 Bee Tree Circle, Chair of Animal Welfare Committee that's been appointed by Judge Garza. This last week was a whirlwind, most of which I could only follow remotely from my sickbed, as many others leapt into action to save 17 county shelter dogs identified as at risk of death on Thursday, October 26th. Thank goodness safe places were found for all the dogs on the list. And by my unofficial count, more than a dozen other dogs were adopted as well. I'm extremely grateful to the county, to the rescue organizations, and to the citizens of Aransas County for their roles in this success. The county is making changes in the shelter's operations that should help us turn this terrible tide of shelter crowding and resulting risk of death to healthy young dogs. In a week or two, for instance, the shelter will begin to be open on Saturdays for adoptions. It is also limiting intake until crowding subsides. For their part, the rescue groups worked incredibly hard to place many dogs. The public has also stepped up and adopted more dogs, especially puppies who badly needed a home to finish growing up. Unfortunately, the shelter is still critically overcrowded. That means the rest of the healthy young dogs there are still at risk. Our shelter is very small for a county of our size. Under ideal conditions, it should hold only something like 35 dogs. At the crisis a week or two ago, the population had topped 70. I plead with my neighbors in this county to keep up the good work until we can shelter the population down to a safe size without resorting to euthanasia. I also plead with my neighbors to spay and neuter their pets. Just one or two abandoned litters can push the shelter over the edge from marginal conditions to dangerously overcrowded. Please remember that just as euthanasia should be a last resort, so should dumping animals into the shelter. Your pets are living creatures who are your own responsibility. The county shelter should be concentrating on animals that pose a threat to the public or who are seriously endangered. The shelter is nowhere near big enough to take in every animal that has become a burden as a result of an unintended litter, a change of job or address, the breakup of a couple, or the death of an owner. Please step in and do your part for your own pets and even those of your struggling friends and family. That's it.
All right. Did anybody submit a participation form that I missed in here? All right, cool. We're gonna move on. Presentations and proclamations. I'm number one.
I move to accept proclamation P 18/2023, recognizing November 11th, 2023 as Aransas County Arbor Day.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Ms. Griffith, did you want to read? Thank you.
Yes, good morning. I'm Debbie
Good morning.
Griffith, Chairperson of the Aransas County Tree Committee. Whereas Arbor Day is a day set aside to celebrate the beauty of trees and to recognize the way they enrich people's lives. In a letter to the children of the United States, President Theodore Roosevelt wrote, "A people without children would face a hopeless future. A country without trees is almost as hopeless." And whereas Texas Arbor Day has been observed since 1889 under the leadership of the Texas Forestry Association, and it's an opportunity to promote the tangible and intangible value of trees and what they bring to our community, and to educate our citizens about stewardship and responsibility for protecting these vital natural resources. And whereas the trees in Aransas County, Texas provide intrinsic benefits by enhancing the economic value of tourism as they draw visitors who enjoy their beauty and who appreciate the life-saving habitat they give to the birds and other wildlife that grace Aransas County's natural environment. And the trees in Aransas County clean the air we breathe, produce life-giving oxygen, filter pollutants from our water, slow down floodwaters and erosion, provide cooling shade on sunny days, lower our heating and cooling costs, and increase the property's value. And wherever they grow naturally and are planted are a source of joy, are essential to the life cycle of birds, insects, and many types of wildlife, and are proven to enhance mental health. And now therefore, you, the Commissioners Court of Aransas County, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2023 as Arbor Day, And you urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support all efforts to protect our trees and to plant trees to enjoy and promote well-being for this and future generations.
Thank you. All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Just like to take a picture. Put it up. Put it up. Come on in. Come on up. Okay. Thanks. Thanks. We'll see you soon. All right, item number 2.
I move to accept proclamation P 19/2023, recognizing October 2023 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Got a motion, got a second? Ms.
Okay, good
Tracy's
morning,
gonna read
Judge,
it.
Commissioners,
Morning.
this is proclamation P 19/2023 Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we raise awareness of this life-threatening disease, encourage early detection, and support research to find a cure. And whereas breast cancer remains the second leading cause of cancer deaths among women, and both men and women should be aware that age, genetics, and family history are factors that can contribute to the risk of developing this disease. Individuals may help reduce their risk of breast cancer through regular self-exams, clinical breast exams, and mammograms, since treatments are most effective when breast cancer is detected early. And whereas significant strides in the fight against this devastating disease have been made through medical advances, preventative programs, and quality healthcare. And whereas we join the celebration of survivorship, we honor those who have dedicated their lives to research, education, and treatments, and we acknowledge those women who have lost their courageous battle. And whereas we join hands with our mothers, daughters, sisters, and friends to renew our support for increased access to screening and care, and we promote the innovative research that will usher in a new era in the fight against breast cancer. Now, therefore, the Commissioners Court of Aransas County hereby proclaims the month of October 2023 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Aransas County, and encourage our citizens to support activities and programs that will increase breast cancer awareness. Although there is no cure for this disease, there is hope.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
All right, got a motion. And we got a second. I do want to acknowledge a donation of $75 from the Rockport Fulton Chamber of Commerce to Aransas County Pathways for attending the 35th Annual Hummingbird Celebration. That's all the donations we got. All right, if there's no questions, let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 5.
I move to approve resolution R 29/2023, joint resolution for joint primary elections to be held on March 5th, 2024, and for joint primary runoff elections if necessary to be held on May 28th, 2022.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Mr. Stroud, good morning.
Good morning. So first, I'd like to start off and say today's the first day of early voting for the constitutional amendment election. So please combine vote. We're open this week 8 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. So this resolution gives us the opportunity to hold our primary election jointly, which is what we've done in the years past for primary elections. So it's to just keep what we've been doing happening here in Aransas County.
And you said you're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And then did you say Saturday, 9 to 2
Yes,
for early voting?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if there's no questions, let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Here. Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick, I'm sorry, Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 6.
Move to approve the third quarter report for Rockport Fulton Chamber of Commerce. Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning, Shelley.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, Shannon is under the weather, so you get me today.
Yay.
So we'll try to muddle through it the best that we can. So it's been very busy quarter, as you can realize, just by our community downtown. I mean, I'm exhausted by attending all the amazing things that were happening. The car show, just, I mean, all of it. So we want to start with our best coastal small town. Obviously, we do use that in our marketing. We are able to use that logo in a lot of our marketing plans. We've been working a lot with Aransas Pathways, including their 2023-2024 marketing plan, helping them to develop that and, to help draw more travelers to the community. The attractions committee that is held at different local attractions. They're promoted on our website, e-blasted over 70,000 newsletter subscribers and promoted on social media.
Shelley,
Yes.
you need to use the clicker.
Oh,
to
I'm
move the
sorry, I'm not
slides,
clicking.
please.
There we go. Geocache. We just renewed our geocache. I don't know if how many of you realize, but there are 2.3 million geocachers in the United States, and we have 53 sites in Aransas County, and they're very well visited. I look out my window all the time, and there's somebody creeping around out there in the bushes, and then I remember we have a geocache site out there. So we have renewed that, and that gets us a lot of extra promotion. Of course, we're doing our local events and featuring our marketing from our marketing company. I really like the one that says, let's hook 'em. I think that's one of my favorites. Of course, we did Hummingbird this past quarter. Most of our events were sold out. I get told that. I don't know where I'm at on that, but I wanted to talk about Hummingbird, so I'm going to skip this part. Almost all the activities for the Hummingbird events were sold out. All the boats, all the bus tours, and with the vendors were sold out. So with that, we had 1,100 visitors just at the Chamber of Commerce. We did open on Saturday that day to help guide the tourists, and we had over 5,000 visitors in town. So here's some of our other digital creating other than Hummingbird. And here's some of what we had for our hotel rooms. Excuse me, I knew I was going to lose my voice. So you can see that we put in a number of heads and beds. So, yes.
Okay. On your highlights of July, August, and September, the short-term rental council, you mentioned that the committee has submitted a good neighbor brochure for review and approval, which involves input from residents. How do residents access that?
Okay, and they're going to meet at 6 o'clock before the city council meeting also.
Tomorrow? Okay.
So they'll get input on that, and then they're going to present it at the city council.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So are there any other questions on any of our activities? Of course, there was Seafair, but we'll touch on that next quarter. But it was a huge success as well.
How was the count on the Hummingbird Festival?
We counted over 5,000 that attended.
Do we have an answer on the economic impact on that yet?
We're still working on the numbers on that. We just got all the zip code input, all the zip code numbers inputted and things like that. So hope to have those very soon. I'm sure it was good. They were everywhere. We were wore out. Are there any other questions? I know it was quick, but I didn't get a chance to study most of this.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 7.
Move to approve the third quarter report for the Friends of the History Center of Aransas County.
I'll second that.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Pam Stranahan, glad to be here. I think I did send in a PowerPoint. I'm not sure I can speak from the report if it's not up. So thank you, Colin. This is a report for the spring and early summer. During that time, our exhibit, our exhibit was our heritage from the range, ranching and farming. We had a wonderful outpouring from this. We had a really good exhibit opening. And then we do Sunday programs, which are also extremely popular. We usually do 3 programs following each exhibit that we set up. So here you have the story of ranching in the county, which is always a surprise to people. And then the second shot here shows you Monty Roquette, who grew up here in Fulton and is now an A&M professor in the cattle business, actually. And he did a wonderful talk on ranching here in Aransas County. Now we have an exhibit called Collectors and Their Collections. So we have over 20 collectors who have brought in items that are their treasures. And people have really, really been enjoying this. You see on the right, Wayne White, who spoke about his collections and brought something for display. And we also had many other exhibitors. You see toys on the second shelf and custard glass on the top shelf. And on the right, you see shells that were actually used by our Native Americans that are a collection of Debbie Griffith. Again, I want to call attention to our library. This project was put together by the LAC class from the Chamber of Commerce. But the additional piece here that I've not talked to you about before is that they also supported an intern to come in during the summer. And so we were able to work with a college student who indexed all of the volumes that you see. And then a volunteer came in and did the keywords for all of these books. This is now a catalog that's on the website. So you can go to the History Center website and see if a book that you might be interested in is there. Most of the books that we have are Texana. They're not available for checkout, but we have very cozy chairs that you can come in during our open hours and sit and read. The next thing that I'd like to show you about is what we did with the 7th graders. We set up 5 learning stations for all of the 7th graders at the middle school. And so that day, our volunteers stayed at the middle school from 8:30 until 4 o'clock, cycling through each class of 7th grade. So the exhibit was about archaeology and what archaeologists can learn. This was to tie in with their early curriculum that they were studying at the time. So we were really proud of that. We also, these are more pictures of our volunteers who were there all day. And we really, really appreciate teachers even more after doing this for a day-long session. Our publicity is something that we routinely do with postcards to our members and outreach to the community through social media. The pilot is a big supporter with bringing up all of our programs as they are coming about. Let me just correct one thing that's on your report here. I got a little carried away with the zeros on the Facebook followers. We didn't have 22,000. We had 2,200 who were interested in the 7th graders. So that's it for us. We really appreciate your attention and hope you'll visit us.
We have any questions? All right, thank you.
Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 8.
I move to approve a request for a variance on county minimum lot size requirements at 455 Misty Oak Lane to replat 2 lots into 1 lot.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning.
Morning. This replat is going from less compliant to non-compliant. It's for compliance with septic.
Pretty straightforward. There's no questions. Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 9.
I
move to approve a request for a variance on county minimum lot size requirements at 391 and 392 Charlotte Drive to replat 2 lots into 1 lot.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Morning.
The exact same situation, going from less compliant to more compliant in order to accommodate septic systems.
And 4. No questions. Let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 10.
I move to approve order O-24-2023, an order petition by Kimberly Morales, closing, abandoning, and vacating a 50-foot roadway on the east by block numbers 436 through 443, the Manning Addition, Aransas County, Texas.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
normally, utilities are in public right of ways, alleyways and streets. When we close these, there could be a obstruction between the utility being there. So I'd like to maybe start amending these orders that would allow for any existing overhead or underground utility lines.
Okay.
These have the utility easements being retained. So there's any utilities would be, the easement would stay. This is only for the roadway and the alleyway to be abandoned.
Okay, so we are addressing that. then.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 11.
I move to approve order 0252023. An order petitioning by Will Hicker, closing, abandoning, and vacating a 61.5-foot roadway between blocks 436 and 437 of the Manning Addition, Aransas County, Texas.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Any questions on this one?
I do see that on that last paragraph, which I neglected. It's there. Thank you for doing that.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Thank you. We
Move to
got
approve order number 026-2023, an order petition by Will Eaker, I guess, closing,
Hiker.
abandoning and vacating a 20-foot right of alleyway on block 436 Manning Addition, Aransas County.
I'll second it.
got a motion, got a second. Any questions on this one?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 13.
Move to approve change order number 10 requested by Teal Construction Company Corporation for the contract for the construction of the Aransas County Courthouse dated February 28th, 2022, which consists of the following changes. CPR 46, install rigid insulation at clock tower, install fluid applied air barrier over sheathing at new window openings, install vapor barrier flashing at base of wall window sills for new window openings, install flexible stainless steel flashing at windows sills for new window openings, and 5 type F windows, deduct 5 type G doors, deduct 5 frames at elevation FF, install 2 EME 3625D FL HP wind driven rain resistant louvers, infill 4 doors at balconies with brick and case stone sills, add $25,192.09. CRP 69 change wood species from Hoya to Fur for thermary brackets, deduct $15,150. CPR 70, add a CO 1A1 breaker, add $440. CPR 71, remove behind letters illumination for exterior building letters, deduct $7,210. Extend the date for substantial completion to January 31st, 2024, with all changes resulting in a net increase to the contract of the amount of $3,272.09 for a new total cost of $23,540,351.78.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Good
That was a
morning.
mouthful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, change order number 46 is a combination of things. That's allowed. It's a combination of things. Of course, that we're tweaking as we go along a little bit on the building. The insulation in the clock tower, and the louvers. The louvers were an addition by the architects to provide better ventilation in the clock tower. So we have 3 sets of windows prior to. Now we got a louver between the 2 windows. The big thing on this project, well, this change order was that we had 5 balconies on the project, balcony doors that were they were opening in and they couldn't meet windstorm standards. So it went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, we made a decision to go with a fixed window, which was a deduct for us, except for the fit up to get the opening made for a window. In other words, put a sill in, brick, flashing, things like that. So that added up some money onto the project. The change order number 69 is this was a decision made. We were going down the road, and the previous brackets were hard to get, more expensive. So we opted to go with the fur. The fur will be just as durable, and we saved $15,000 by doing that. The next one is a breaker, just another item that was missed in the design. So that $440 was an add. The last but not least, on the building, they had this was a budget decision, but the lights were behind the lettering, which meant there was a lot of wires that were going behind the lettering of the Aransas County Courthouse. And we thought through this and said, this is a maintenance thing. This is going to be a problem. So we opted not to go with the lighting behind the lettering and to just have it with the lighting going up on the lettering from the ground. So that was a deduct of $7,210. So at the end of the day, the change order number, I'm going to go back to change order number 46 in a minute. At the end of the day, we're adding $3,272.09 to the contract, which puts us we're still in the credit of about $74,000. So we're not going past the initial budget yet. Let me come back to change order number 46, just so everybody understands where we're at. The reason why that number is so low is this was a battle back and forth on the cost of this change order. This change order was originally at $57,000. And we fought back, our construction manager agent, myself, and fought back, and the architects fought back on this as far as the credits for the doors and things like that. Eventually, we had it down to $25,000. So we felt that was the best deal to get this project, we're on this item, and we can get moving forward with it.
I have a question on that
Sure.
change order 46. So it says install rigid insulation. Were they not going to install insulation?
There was none designed on the drawing.
I guess I've got a couple of questions. One thing is, what percentage of change orders has the general contractor? We understand subs bring the change orders to the
Right.
general. What percentage of change orders has the general contractor rejected because they thought everything was? Is there an idea?
I don't know that number because that usually doesn't come to us, but it doesn't seem like much.
The concerns are like it concerns me that it appears that they're just rubber stamping the change orders because it's an advantage to them also, because they'll get administrative fee and
Yes.
things. And the other question I have is, what happens if the court doesn't approve a change order?
Then we have five openings with no doors and no windows.
Okay. Well, I mean, just in general.
In general, if we've gotten to this point with these change orders, it's because we've gone over it 1,000 different times.
It's critical, in other words.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's some of these change order battles, when we get to the next one, these battles have gone on for months. They're not like a couple of days.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Well, I surmise that since this first one is CPR 46 and the rest of them are in the
Right.
high 60s and the low 70s. And some of the construction meetings I've attended, I know we're now at like 76. So
Mhm.
my concern, and I certainly appreciate the work that you and Mark Williams with Broadus have done at constantly pushing back on the number of change orders that have been brought forward
Mhm.
to either get them negated or at least get them reduced. But it seems to me that a design team should know what windstorm requirements are if they
I agree.
have the gumption to bid on buildings that are in a windstorm area. And all along the coast, can't be a surprise in Texas, we're in windstorm conditions. So the fact that the doors didn't meet the windstorm requirements to me is rather unacceptable as far as the design team. And I know there are other change orders that we have had to swallow and approve because the design team didn't notice something. And I'm just hoping that we're tracking that
Yes.
so that when we come to the end and we're looking at final payments to the design team, we can visit about how much they have cost us.
Yes. We're
Good.
tracking it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the court's concern, and certainly my concern, is like all these changes were design issues. Oh, there are a lot of the changes what I'm seeing.
Something has to be able to initiate the change.
Yeah, I mean,
Do we have a sub base that is more than willing to write a change order? Yes. Yes, that's not hard to, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but you got to have a reason to do it. And so that's part of the problem. Is some of it acceptable, at some level of, nothing's perfect? Yes, but some of it isn't.
some of those doors that we changed the windows, I thought it was a big win.
I thought so
When
too.
we're saving money, it's like it's a big win. Then we're going to actually pay $10,000 more because of the windowsill and the framing, which kind of blew my mind.
Yep.
The lighting, is the lighting on the city hall, is it going to be?
I think Mark makes sure that are consistent, we're
Matching,
consistent
okay.
with it. And I think they're looking for the same way as we are looking for ways to cut money.
And they forgot a breaker and we got to pay for it. It's like,
It's another one coming.
and on this one, substantial completion, January 31st. When were we supposed to seek substantial completion?
That is he just put that in there as wording, but that's the agreed already substantial completion date. There's another change order. They want to come in and talk about moving it back to April 20th. I think I'll have to have the exact date back for you folks.
Is it okay if I ask a question?
Sure.
Do you know if we've been given all of the credit for the items that have been removed? For example, I know we had some windows in the design that are not supposed to be in the finished building. Have all of our change orders included all the credits the county is due for design changes?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Like, if it's possible, just when it is completed and we bring up the final cost. One of the things I understand that was brought up when they were talking about value added engineering. They eliminated energy efficient lighting. And because they eliminated energy efficient lighting, that led to some additional cost savings for the life of the building. Plus the county could have gotten credit for that lighting and we failed to do that. So I think that should be brought up.
Let me go back. Everything's LED inside the building.
Well,
Well, we're not Energy Star.
It
No, that was a
to
decision.
qualify for some of the discounts or the things that Commissioner Dupin is talking about, they do
Okay.
require it be Energy Star.
And that would have saved us money, long term. So I think things like that should be brought up when we do final closure.
We made decisions early on in the design phase about whether we were going to be a LEED or an Energy Star building. And those decisions, some of those decisions were LED lighting, but we didn't choose to go with certain more efficient like HVAC equipment and stuff like that. Those were decisions made early.
Will we qualify for the credits that?
I do not know that answer.
We don't, and you're talking about building that we keep saying it's 50 to 60-year lifespan. And of course, the equipment won't last that long, but it's something we need to really keep in mind. But those are long-term savings we could have enjoyed, and plus credits the county could have obtained upfront.
To your question, Judge, they are currently looking at that. We have provided them a lot of the documents and stuff, and they are looking to see whether any of it will qualify or not.
Okay, appreciate it. And John, the motion language, extend the date for substantial completion. Well, what are we extending it from?
That is.
Judge, that was my language because I believed when I wrote the amendment to that item that was an extension. That was my error. If that was the original substantial completion date on the table, then I apologize for having the word extend. If you want to amend your motion to remove the word extend, you're welcome to do so, but it really has no impact.
Okay, I just wanted a date where
Sure.
it's extended from, but
That was the first extended date. That was the original date was August, either to 23rd or the 26th. That was their back in January of this year, or January, February, where they came back in and asked to move it back to January 31st.
And that's still just been primarily not because of lack of construction or anything like that, but because the generators and the
Elevator parts.
elevators and stuff like that, the stuff that we had no control over.
Exactly. We still don't.
all right, if there's no further questions, we'll vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 14.
14.
I move to approve change order number 2 to the construction contract with DLF Construction for the Aransas County Community Center and Plaza project to increase the contract cost by $15,171.96 for the following: additional structural steel materials of approximately 3 tons, additional detailing, field erection, shop fabrication, drawings, and field welding, and to increase the contract term by 15 days. The new date for completion will be March 18th, 2024, and all changes result in a net increase to the contract in the amount of $15,171.96 for a new total cost of $4,361,979.63.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second?
John, are we still within the grant funds on this?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
But
Oh, John, what are these for now?
they made some corrections or some adjustments to the steel package, the steel product, the whole frame that mostly related to the canopies. There's a canopy on the front and a canopy on the back, the east and the west sides. And they removed some box beams that were in there and they put in I-beams with plates, and then they reattached the things they used to hold the canopy, the brackets, they hold the canopy in place. So that turned into a $33,000 change order. And a couple of months later, and back and forth and delays and deliveries and all of that, we've got it down to 15,000. And at this point, the architects and the engineers feel like that's a reasonable number.
Was this a design issue?
Yes, it was.
And who designed this?
This was one of PJL's contractor, and their consultants, Walter P. Moore.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 15.
I move to approve authorizing environmental health transfer station to seek bids for our 2024 brush grinding contract.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning.
Good morning,
Morales.
Commissioners.
Morning.
Judge Garza. This is just a yearly bid that we go out for to do the brush grinding. We'd like to have it done in January this year, if possible, before the wind picks up.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 16.
I
I
move
move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign a 1-year hangar lease with 4 1-year renewal options with Wayne Sullivan for space in the community hangar.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning. Mr.
Good
Beard.
morning. This would have been on the last agenda along with the other two 1-year leases with 4 options to renew. With the exception that there were a few more things to consider with Mr. Sullivan's request, which were part of the agenda packet. And so I thought I'd take questions on that if you have any for me at this time.
What other items?
Mr. Sullivan submitted a letter that he was requesting a moratorium on rent due to the fact that the airport has not been fully recovered from where we were pre-Hurricane Harvey. And I made some counterpoints to Mr. Sullivan's argument that the airport had not fully recovered, which is true that we don't have the hangars that we had before, but we have the based aircraft that we had prior to Harvey. And those are the interests, I think, that Mr. Sullivan's letter indicated that we didn't have those same numbers of aircraft back, but in fact we do.
What is
Not all of them use him. That's
What does Mr. Sullivan use his space for?
airframe and power plant mechanic shop. So it's Wayne's Air Repair. He's been there for 32 years.
So why does, I understand that that affects his market, but it affects everybody's market and nobody else got moratoriums.
I agree.
So I don't think we ought to allow it.
Nor do I, nor did the Airport Advisory Board. I indicated that in my memo for the agenda item that the board they're also they asked me to carry forward to the commissioners that they don't recommend that we give the moratorium.
And what is the cost of his lease right now?
He's paying 3,900 or for 3,900 feet at $2 per square foot, so $650 a month. And then the increases over the terms of the renewals are 2.5%.
They're on page 2 of the attachment.
Yes, ma'am.
Is 2.5% a reasonable with this inflation that's going on the way it is 2.5% you think are reasonable on the rent?
Commissioner, in a normal year, 2.5% would be pretty reasonable, sometimes 3%. But with inflation the way it is now, the only way to account for that in our in our lease renewal rates is to build it in that we would calculate it annually based on the CPI. The problem with that is it would require that we look at every single contract every year and calculate the increase. It's just not feasible for staff to do that. So what we do is we build in a reasonable increase like 2.5%. And if we see a trend continuing where we have years where it's well exceeding that 7%, 8%, then we would come back to the drawing board. But for 1 year off, which is this year, that's way far away from our normal increase. I agree with Mike that it's a reasonable rate to put in our leases. And if we need to evaluate that later, we should.
Well, I would think it is a pretty substantial value to the airport to have an on-site mechanic there. Is he the only one that?
He is
There.
currently the flight school, which is Skyrider Aviation. They're on the highway side of the airport. You've probably seen their banners there by their T hangar. They've hired an A&P mechanic to service their aircraft. He's still in training. So when he gets his full certification, he'll be an employee of the flight school. So they'll save substantial costs there. So, in the past, they've used that flight school. He also has used Wayne Sullivan for A&P, but then they've also used folks down from the valley. They're constantly looking for the best prices. So We have airport customers that have 3 and 4 planes on the field, and they use other than Mr. Sullivan. So it's the free market, is the way I look at it. When it comes right down to it, it's he has every right to compete for the free market, just like any other A&P mechanic. This just happens to be his base of operations. Yes, I do agree with you that it's we're very fortunate that we have an A&P mechanic on the field for last minute issues that may come up if somebody's trying to leave late on a Sunday and they've got a flat. You need an A&P to get out there and change that. It's nice to have it for that reason. But when you look at what does an A&P mechanic draw to your airport, they generally don't draw customers to your airport to become then based aircraft and come to live here. They come there for the service and then they fly back to where they're from. Case in point, Clayburgh County has an A&P there that is the twin Cessna A&P mechanic that anybody in America, they all know about him, and that's where they all generally flock to him to do their work, but they don't base their airplanes there. So he's made a really good name for himself in that. Wayne's, Mr. Sullivan's business has always just kind of been Rockport customers. And that did change. We lost 26 based aircraft in Hurricane Harvey that were folks that were in their 60s and 70s. And so they just took that opportunity to take their insurance settlement and get out of the business of flying altogether. And a substantial number of those aircraft were customers of Mr. Sullivan's. He's had to build back his business as the airport has built back its number of based tail numbers. And he just wasn't able to keep pace with our growth.
Well, the other question is, how are we in the market as far as our rental goes in the aviation market?
Well, when you consider, there's a lot of things to consider with that, and maybe we can workshop that or have an offline discussion to save some time. But I won't get too far in the weeds. But I'll say that there's value added in Rockport for being here. So we're a destination, a tourist destination for not just people that drive in, but for people that fly in. And so we recognize that the folks that come here don't mind paying a little more to buy our gas, for example, to help keep us profitable. But hangar wise, we're right on par with any other airport in this region. You get closer to Houston or San Antonio, Dallas, Austin, and we could probably charge a lot more for our hangars. But locally, when you consider us against other airports in the immediate region, so McCampbell, Porter, and Ingleside, over to Palacios or to Port Lavaca, even down into Edinburgh, we're probably, we are higher on our hangar rent. But the value that we think we're adding, or I believe we're adding, is we have brand new hangars. They have LED lights. We have wonderfully recently repaved runways and taxiways. There's a lot of value in the FBO at our airport. We focus on customer service. So there's a lot of things that I add on to justify us adding a little bit more to our hangar rent.
Okay.
And most of our hangar customers are second homeowners. So, if you can afford a second home and you own an airplane, my thoughts are you can afford to pay our hangar rent. And any more questions on Mr. Sullivan's lease? Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Cheney.
Well,
Commissioner, sorry.
just a minute. So what we're saying is that the airport committee did not recommend that we approve this.
Correct.
Wait,
Okay.
No, that's not correct.
no, that's misstating. The Airport Advisory Board recommended that we not approve Mr. Sullivan's request for a moratorium. They are in favor
yes.
of this lease.
Sorry. Yeah, that's exactly right. They're in favor. Everybody's in favor of the lease.
So moved.
Except Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, ma'am.
Except Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Sullivan's in favor of the lease.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dubnik.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0.
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign an annual agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation for the 2024 Routine Airport Maintenance Program, RAMP, grant M2416RCKP, which grant reimburses 90% of costs per eligible airport maintenance projects up to $100,000 per year.
I'll second that. I had a question on that, Mike. The 100,000, that's just pretty much a standard. thing
Yes, sir.
each year.
Yes, sir.
Is that going to be adjusted for inflation or is that going to?
Well, that's,
You don't
again,
have
this
to
is,
know, or-
that's up for discussion. There's a committee that I sit on with the, in this, at TxDOT Aviation, along with 24 other airport managers from the state, and we're talking about that. So right now, ramp is capped at 100,000. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I've been on the board a long time and I think it's always been 100,000.
Yeah, and we're talking about 200,000. That's a target number we'd like to see, because it has been at 100,000 since, I don't know, 1995, something like that. The most notable about this version of ramp is, and it's taken a little while for the state to kind of finalize it. That's why we're talking about it in October as opposed to August, when normally we're discussing ramp, is that it's been increased to 90% reimbursement, up from 50%. And that's
course, that's
incredible.
big.
That's substantial. Now that what that does is that gives us a path forward to complete some projects that otherwise we would have normally waited for an airport improvement project or some larger grant to access it.
So in effect, that does give us more, but it's still $100,000, no matter how you look at it.
Spend $10,000, get $100,000 worth of work. That's pretty incredible in my opinion.
At this time, this funding will come from your airport account, right?
Yes, sir. And for the foreseeable future. Okay.
Are we moving back towards where we were? Are we getting closer and closer to where we were?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we are.
That'd be good to get some information on, just for the general public of the value of the airport and how much we've recovered where we were pre-Harvey.
We do. Commissioner Russo will attest that the airport is very proactive in our advertising and marketing. We're in the visitor's guide.
But that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
I know we advertise it well, but we've got, two one new commissioner, one relatively new commissioner and one new judge.
Mhm.
And we got a bunch of public out here that we haven't been seeing in a long time. It would be good to just have a presentation on where we are in
Oh,
the
I
last
see.
5 years or last 7 years or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't expect it to be a 4-hour presentation.
Right.
I do think that is something that we need to do.
Good. I'll take that to the board, and the board is very proactive in matters like that. And I think I would get some assistance from them, maybe to come up and help put a presentation together and then
To do that.
also help deliver it to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
All right, passes 5-0. Item number 18.
I move to approve Road and Bridges request to accept a bid to purchase a 2020 Freightliner M2 106 water truck with 15,254 miles from Rhino Machinery Incorporated for $95,950, and authorize the county judge to execute any necessary documents. Second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning, Ms. Reed.
Good morning. So we went out for bids. We received 4 bids. This one we felt was the best bid for the truck, and we'd like to accept it.
Is this the truck only, or is this the truck with the tank, or?
It's with the tank, yes.
That's a good bid.
It's a good bid for the year and mileage.
It's a lot better than the one that was 90,000, had over 100,000 miles on it. That was incredible.
Yes, it was.
Good job.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 19.
Move to approve entering into a contract with Grant Providing Services between Aransas County, Texas and Lone Star. Lone Star Strategy Group LLC for a period of 1 year for a monthly payment of $2,000.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second.
Excuse me. A period of 1 year and monthly payments of $2,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I thought it was $2,000 for the
For the
year.
year, no, it's monthly.
Okay, thank you for clarification.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. How are y'all doing today? So my name is Yvette Utley. I'm with Lone Star Strategy Group LLC. I'm the president and owner. I'm a small firm that works primarily in the coastal Bend Cog area. This is a long passion of mine. My father was a county commissioner for 24 years. My husband is on his second term as county judge as well. So this is kind of a family affair. My passion is helping rural areas. There are many grants out there. And unfortunately, most rural counties and cities cannot afford to keep a grant writer on staff. So I've come up with, a package that helps these smaller rural areas at an affordable cost. This whole started with us meeting with the navigation district and trying to come up with a discounted price where the county would pay part of it and the navigation district would pay the other part of it. Today, I'm coming to you. I have already presented to the navigation district. So they're basically waiting on commissioner's court, and it's kind of been a back and forth thing until we see what the commissioner's court would like to do. There is a very large grant out there through NOAA that is due November 17th. And this is for a max of 25 million to help with resiliency here in the coastal area, to help with your bulkheads. And this is kind of how we all started talking in visiting with your judge and the needs here in your county. I know that your animal shelter is in need. Of course, road infrastructure, drainage is always going to be a big issue, especially in these coastal areas. Where I come from is very different than your bigger firms such as GrantWorks. It's not trying to put them down in any way. I just work differently. You have larger firms that come in and expect to work on grants that have a large admin fee. They're not going to work on anything less than them bringing in maybe 100,000 per grant. I work differently. I come in at your contingency fee for the year. Any grant that comes available that you are eligible to apply for is what I apply for, whether it has an admin fee or not. Same thing, if there is an admin fee and it's over 50,000, it has to be procured. So that's not guaranteed that I'm going to administer the grant. I have to come before, just like everybody else, and put in an RFP. Secondly, I do not apply for anything unless I come to you, the court, for permission, because if there is a match amount, I want to make sure that this court knows what the match amount is and what your responsibility is as a county before I put you all in any harm's way. So that's basically what I do in a nutshell. I don't know if y'all have any questions for me, but I'd be glad to answer them. Like I said, I'm very involved in the COG because my husband is a judge. I get to travel and attend all the conferences. I try to learn as much as possible. Just like, a couple months ago, being at the latest one in Austin, and make sure we're getting funding for our rural areas and where we can find those grant opportunities that assist us down here in South Texas. So I believe I bring value. I know that you need a return on your investment. Every county here is strapped. Budgets were tough this last year. And I know that this is a strain on your budget. But at the same time, I know the value I can bring to you and definitely bring a return on investment. With my contract, I give you a 30-day out. If for some reason you say, hey, like this isn't working out, no hard feelings, but we feel like we need to use this money elsewhere, or this is just not working out, I'm good with that. I feel that I will bring enough value to not ever have to go through that 30-day period. But that is also an option for your commissioner's court.
All right.
I have a couple of questions, and you gave us a lot of information in a very short time.
Yes.
You must be from the north or something.
No. I'm from Jim Wells.
I'm from the north, but I've learned to slow down. And my questions are mostly based on the contract. So on page 2, under compensation, and maybe I'm just missing something. It says the county and the consultant agree the consultant will be compensated for a fixed fee of $2,000 to provide the services as described herein. And then this is subject to budget appropriation approval of the court. That's where I was getting the idea that it was a $2,000 annual fee.
Commissioner,
shouldn't this say
it should say
$1,000 per month?
It should, Commissioner. That is my error. This is my contract. I apologize for missing the 2 words. That is most important. I'm thankful that our agenda language is correct. I'd be happy to make that revision before this contract is executed, assuming it's approved today. And I apologize for the error.
Okay. And that's why when Commissioner Casterline read that, I'm like, what? 2000?
How big is your company? How many people do you have?
I have 3 under me and it's staying that way. And everybody works remotely because it keeps the overhead down and I can keep the cost down.
So would this be in addition to Grant Works if we were to do something like this?
Right. Well, we don't pay Grant Works a monthly.
That's what I was curious about.
Right, we don't.
No, when we procure Grant Works, they've already, normally what they have done is we've already applied for a grant and got it. And then once we get the grant, then Grant Works admin fees are in there. But they do apply for them we don't pay them anything to apply for the grants.
Could you tell me,
Yes.
Could you tell me-
Can I address that question, Commissioner? And that's where what I spoke on earlier, where I'm different. They will come in and administer it and help with the grant writing, but because they know that there's that large lump sum, I apply. I'll give you an example. Tatum has opened up their winter storm disaster fund. Right now, counties can apply for generators, for safe spaces, all different types of, of things through this grant. If you don't have a grant writer on staff and someone working on that, you're not going to have someone like Grant Works come in and work because there is no admin fee for that. Someone's got to be working on that, making sure all the documentation is in. And it's smaller grants like that slip away, the small hanging fruit, so to say, that your large firms won't touch. And that's where I feel that gap.
so you would apply for the grants that are smaller that don't have the administration fee?
Correct.
The one with NOAA that you mentioned that would probably have an administration fee, you would just give us a heads up about that, see if we're interested. And then, like you said, we would go out for RFP to see.
Correct. For procurement on the admin fee. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So what you basically would do initially for the county for the $2,000 is to make us aware of what's out there. And then the court would decide what it would choose to go do. And then it would be up to the court to decide who they wanted to actually go after that.
Well, no, I would do the application. I would prepare the application and submit that. Then if there was an admin fee, most definitely you would have to go through the procurement process. And yes, I would, of course, submit an RFP, but it's up to the court to choose that administrative service.
Yeah, I think I talked to you, before at the conference, but I think that fills a void that we have here because Grant Works does work on the larger grant. I had Grant Works, it was a different name, but I used to be city manager of Floresville.
Okay.
And that's been 30 years ago. And they were a little company just like you. That's exactly what they were doing. And they did the city of Floresville real well because at that time there was no money from the state or anything, but we were setting up the Evergreen Underground Water Conservation District. And I don't mean to go into a lot of detail there, but Floresville couldn't afford a big grant company. They just couldn't do it. They just could not set up, they could not forward the money that was needed to do just the administration to get the grant. And so we had a situation similar to this, and it worked out very well. We had some, they came up with some stuff, and we went and chased them down and everything. And then once the contract came on, the COG, we would go to the COG, and the COG would kind of, Alamo Area Council of Governments would kind of move us where we need to go because we were, 2,500 population.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have $5,000 to go out and do stuff with. But we used Carlos Vargas. And he did just exactly what you're talking about, but he was not organized. He got some grants. Did we budget this?
For next year.
And Commissioner, this is how this got started. My husband's first term in office, he needed a grant writer and couldn't afford one and needed someone help with economic development and so forth. And so I thought of like, this would be the perfect package for these rural counties that don't have that assistant. I do have my master's in public affairs, and I have an economic development basics from the Texas EDC. So, and a real estate license. So that's just everything I enjoy doing in one. So anything that has to do with economic development, community development, especially here, you're such a tourist town. There's so many options out there as far as looking for more funding. Foundations, I heard your librarian here. There's foundations in the Coastal Bend that we could apply for funding. And of course, you're not going to have someone just go after those, like I said, a larger firm, because there's nothing coming to them after this if they receive the grant. So you have someone on staff, so to speak, but not here advocating for you and what your needs are, as even if it's the library, there's always a lack of funding in our libraries as well. And it's just a matter of going to look for them.
So you mentioned that TDM grant that just became available for Storm, and I think I got an email about it, and that sounds
And they
like
just
a good thing
extended it. And they
generated,
just
no?
extended it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you applied for that grant and we received it, that wouldn't have to necessarily go out for an RFP, correct?
No.
Okay. And then could you just tell us a couple of other counties or?
Just a moment. Can we
organizations?
follow up with that? Do you mean that the grant administration would not have to go out for RFP?
Well, I didn't know how big
It would
the
have
grants
to.
were that were coming from TDM.
I don't
Grant
know what,
administration portion would have to be.
yes, a grant administration, but not to apply for it. I mean, of
Correct.
course, if you approve me to, become your grant writer, yes, I would just start working on that immediately, because that's a pretty tedious grant application.
Okay. And then could you, and thank you for that clarification, Jen. Could you tell us a couple of entities or counties or
So I
who
work,
you represent?
I work for Frio County. I'm with Judge Teal in McMullen County. I recently started working with Live Oak County just this past month, and Refugio County. And so, like I mentioned to Judge Garza, this would be my last county, because I feel like this is all I need. I want to be responsible and organized and make sure everything is taken care of in a timely order. I know that times that timelines are not adhered to can cost the county lots of money, even the loss of the grant. So I'm, want to make sure that I can hold my own and follow through with my responsibilities.
No, that was not the concern that I had, is if you just have 3 people, you can't take on 20 grants.
Oh, no. Well, so the grant period, the grant cycle opens up October. It goes all the way through May. So we are like just working at whatever we can through that time period. And then after May, we start making sure, we're following up on what we applied for, what we need to start looking for the following budget, the following year. And what that means is, what grants are you going to want to go for next funding cycle? And how much money are you going to have to set aside on your budget that's going to get approved in September, into September? So we can start working on that as well.
So
Are we budgeting for this already?
It's already budgeted for next year.
Okay, that was,
So would we perhaps, if we approve this and then you find out about a grant opportunity, because you mentioned this one with NOAA, and I didn't catch if you said November 17th or November 11th or what?
17th.
Okay. So we might have to, on occasion, call a special meeting or something to approve going after a grant.
Well, she's going to work with me, and something.
And Commissioner, so this has been been trying to work at this probably for maybe 2 months now.
Okay.
And so I've known about this grant, but because it's, you had your budget time, and we're still waiting on the navigation district. It's just trying to get all the pieces to fall into place. So this is a big piece. We go forward with Commissioner's Court, and then the navigation district still needs to approve me as well. And then that would be, kind of working hand in hand for that big grant.
So if we decide to go ahead and do this and hire you for the 2,000 a month, we could expect some response from you as to what's out there that we may not know about sometime in the near future.
Correct.
So that we could adjust as we need.
Yes, and I'm open to having a workshop as well. If we need to set a workshop aside and you want to get your departments to come in here and we discuss what the needs are, and each precinct, the judge, I'm open to that as well. I have no problem doing that.
We did add a provision in the contract that this company would be required to come in on a quarterly basis and provide a report to the Commissioners Court about its activities, grant opportunities that are available and applications that are in process. But just to make sure that someone's here every quarter, so you see them and have an opportunity to ask questions.
All right, there's no further questions. One vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0.
Thank you,
Move on.
Commissioners. Judge, I look forward to working with y'all.
Thank you.
And
Thank
tell
you.
us your name again, please.
Yvette Utley, Utley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Utley. Item number 20.
I move to approve hiring a temporary employee in the county clerk's office to work approximately 40 hours in total to scan documents that can legally be shredded. This would avoid paying for mold remediation of those physical documents.
Second.
Got a motion? Got a second.
As y'all know, on March 1st, we found mold in our offsite storage building. This process is just to get rid of any paper that we legally can so that we do not have to pay for mold remediation on it. Our insurance company still has now told Jackie that our insurance company is not liable for this, that it should be the owner's insurance company that should be. I've not heard beyond that. I don't think Jackie's shaking her head no, she still hasn't heard anything beyond that as well. So this is not in budget. We do not have insurance money as of yet, but I do need to move forward. What we don't want is when we do get into the new courthouse that we can't take our documents with us. And we do not want to take any molded documents with us. With that being said, I got a call at 3:30 from CoFile who took part 2 group after the mold happened, and they're calling it a nominal mold infiltration, that anything in filing cabinets is not going to have mold remediation. Anything that was in boxes does not have to have mold remediation. Anything that's in our open books or in binders that we're setting out or in those open shelving, those do need mold remediation. So it's less than what we originally thought it was going to be, but it's still a lot. And I don't have costs on that yet because they haven't done a full scope of practice to see what all's going to have to happen.
That part's good news.
Yeah.
Have we talked to the building owner? I guess I'm going to ask the auditor to see if that person's insurance would cover this.
I have not talked to him specifically. He is aware of it and I will follow up with him.
Okay. And I'm not sure if it's the auditor's place to do that. I just would very much like some representative who has the authority from the county to contact, because we rent that as being a climate controlled space. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
While we do, we do have a lease, but the lease is very short. It was drafted before I got here and it didn't specifically anticipate that there would be damage like this. So, it's not a clear answer, but I know that we can visit with Mr. Johnson and try to work something out with him.
Okay. Thank you. I'd like that.
You state in the paperwork that you're gonna be able to cover this with your own budget though, with your salary.
Yes, the money for the salary for this temp worker due to staff changes. One that had a lot of time, was at a higher salary, is no longer with us. And so this will fall within that budget. So we're not going to be over budget for this temp worker.
The only question, other question I have is about safety measures, because I know you're gonna be
Yes.
handling mold and everything. If you have a JSA or some kind of a job
Well,
safety analysis
Right.
plan in place.
correct. On March 2nd, Renee's team and Al Johnson's, is it Al? Mr. Johnson's, a couple of his staff went in and they wiped everything down but there are paper you can't wipe down, but the hard surfaces were all wiped down. But we are going to have N95 masks and gloves that are being donated to us by Renee's department. And her quick action in getting that air conditioner fixed, wiping everything down. There has been no continued mold growth, but there are still live mold spores there. So we are going to be wearing masks. I'm setting up the 2 people who are scanning out on the front porch.
So that.
I was waiting until the weather was more
conducive.
conducive to that project so that they're not in the building all day. It'll just be me in the building bringing files out a couple of times. I mean, they'll have to come in the building to help me move boxes and things, but they'll have very little exposure within the building. And the lady I hired does know about the mold, and we were very upfront about all that.
I just want to thank you for thinking outside the box, finding a solution and, to avoid paying that mold remediation, because that was pretty expensive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, no further questions. Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney.
Oh.
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 21.
I move to approve the proposed 2024 environmental health fees.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Ms. Morales. Morning
Hello, good
again.
morning.
I had a question.
Yes.
In your background information, third paragraph, you talk about environmental health took on the additional responsibility of conducting biannual food safety inspections. Is it, so you're doing them every 2 years or is it semi-annual? You're
Oh.
doing them every 6 months?
Every 6 months, sorry,
Okay.
semi-annual.
So semi-annual. All right. Thank
Yep.
you.
And that was for the town of Fulton that we took that on.
Yeah.
So approximately, we have about 230 restaurants that we are inspecting twice a year. And then when you bring in the festivals with the food trucks, our guys have to be out there. They're out there on Saturdays inspecting all of those food trucks, which takes up quite a bit of their time. One food truck's about 30 to 45 minutes to get an inspection done. So we're trying to eliminate that by trying to do more of a permanent food truck permitting process. And if you look how the fees are changing a little bit.
And I didn't understand, which maybe that's okay, but under, on the second page of your background, environmental health, OSSF would like to request that.
The removal of the real estate inspection. Currently, it is on our schedule, our fee schedule. However, what has not been done, I believe it's been the last 2 years. There are private companies in town that do that. So it's something that we're not going to leaving the homeowners without that option. Most people, when they sell their home, they have a home inspection anyway. It's part of the home inspection. So this is just another additional service that we were providing that really we haven't been providing for the last couple of years. So eliminating it is just a better option for us.
All right, that makes sense. So you're taking it off the fee schedule.
Taking it off the fee schedule, yes. And the other thing that we are changing on the fee schedule for the OSSF is right now it's just a OSF septic application permit. I'm proposing that we make that into a residential and then a commercial, which is the multi-unit. RV parks, rental communities have much larger systems, take a much more longer time for those inspections. That paperwork goes up to the state of Texas, TCEQ reviews it, sends it back down to us with a whole bunch of things that the people need to fix. So we have to get back in contact with the property owners, the designer, I'm sorry, and have them fix that, submit that back up. So it takes a lot of time back and forth. Over the last year, out of the ones that we have had turned in, only 2 have been approved so far. So. And then the other one that we would like to change, definitely like to change, is the illegal installation of septics. That causes a lot of additional problems just because we have to go back in there and we have to see what's going on with the system, which means they have to basically dig it up if they've already covered it up. The fact that they're trying to do it, we get the phone calls on a Saturday when we're not on, we're on call. So we're going out there looking, or we will have to wait till Monday. So we do get phone calls right away. People want to let us know that something's going on out there.
And having done a ride along with you, I can appreciate the illegal septic facilities that are currently out there.
Thank you. Do you have any other questions?
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 22.
I'm sorry. I move to approve authorizing the airport manager to publish a request for proposals to request qualified development consultants to submit proposals regarding a development plan for the Aransas County Airport.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Word,
Haven't we
Mr.
done
Gear.
this before, Mike?
Yeah, so not officially with RFP, and not since I've been here, and I got here in 2014, but there was a lot of interest in development at the airport before I got here, and then up until the hurricane, and then obviously it fell off. But now, you know, at the stage of recovery that we're at, we feel like we're ready to go ahead and test the waters again and see what if there are any interested parties that may like to develop at the airport. We'd like to hear what their plan is. Maybe they can help us determine the best use of our facility.
Yeah, we spent about a good portion of a year working with Gene on how to, where they're gonna do, you know, local, airport drive-in or whatever it was. So you're looking at going a different way?
Well, we don't know. Probably won't. I'm not going to say what we may or may not consider, obviously, but there are things that are non-compliant that I think I would want to steer away from. Housing would be one of those.
Yeah.
Anything that attracts like birds or a bird sanctuary would be ill-advised.
Mhm.
No gun ranges. Firework factories. And I'm still writing the RFP. I'm looking for some other airports that have done this, to try to get a template to write it in a way that solicits the most interest.
I would think that there where it is, that you don't need any more houses close to it.
No, we don't. But, well, I don't know. We just need to see what the interests are, and then if there's a way to get FAA buy-in, that's what it comes down to.
Mhm.
So we're going to use it for if somebody wants to come out and build a widget factory, and then they need a way to fly the widgets in and out of the county. We're the obvious location to do that. But if it's a hotel and a convention center or something, maybe then we need to look at that. That's probably not something the FAA is going to rubber stamp, but it may be something that's still doable. There's precedent, certainly.
The reason why this is so important is because airports are special. It's not like developing open land that's located anywhere else. So having a design consultant come in, or several firms, hopefully, and give us an idea of what their qualifications are to tell us how to best utilize this resource. It's a good idea to look for people who have that special knowledge and have had the history to work with TxDOT and the FAA.
And this is something the Airport Advisory Board has been discussing and
Yes,
it
ma'am.
unanimously
That's why I'm bringing it.
supported at the
Correct.
last.
I'm
board
bringing
meeting.
it to you today for that very reason, because we've talked about it. We've been talking about it for more than a year. And that was the last Airport Advisory Board meeting. It was unanimous that I bring it forward to the commissioners to ask for permission to write an RFP.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
One vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dubnik,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 23.
I move to approve amending the 2023 annual budget to include Fund 680 DEA forfeiture funds, which will be used to replace an aging data storage system located at the detention center.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second?
Do you have funds to put in that now, or you're just?
No, sir,
Put it in
those
the
funds
budget.
those funds are already in that account. There has not been any activity except some very small interest that's been earned on it for probably the last 10 years.
Okay.
We're not participating in that task force anymore. So we would like to go ahead and use those funds and close that fund out.
So how much is in there?
There's a little over $5,500 in there.
Not 5 million.
Oh, no.
Where would, I know in this paperwork, it mentioned that it would take as much as 7,200 to 8,200 to purchase what we need to purchase. So would that come out of the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir. The
balance.
balance of it would come out of the sheriff's office supplies.
Okay.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 24.
Move to approve budget line item transfers.
Second.
For 2023 budget. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm second.
We have none at this time.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 25.
I move to approve the accounts payable and payroll/payroll liabilities.
I'll second it.
Motion second.
The payroll and the accounts payable are normal. I would like to point out several that are in our capital. We have under the streets and drainage projects. And well, this is for the Celebration Plaza, which is under the GLO grant. PGAL for a $7,106.25. And DLF, who is the contractor for the Celebration Plaza, is $83,185.06. Stone Garden, we had a purchase through JP Morgan of $1,239.59. And then under our downtown anchor, which is the courthouse, we had a invoice from Teal Construction for $958,698. Those are the only major capital items that we had.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. I meant to make a comment on that one. With DLF, 83,000. I know we don't see much progress going on that celebration building, but all those invoices, they're approved and we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Basically, I just want to make that point.
Right,
Thank
this
you.
is work that's already been
Right,
done.
it's already been
Yes.
completed.
And the steel package is due this week.
Thank
So
you.
we'll have it on ground. They'll be starting to wreck this week.
Cool. Thank you. Item number 11, reports from commissioners, elected officials, and department heads. No action will be taken. You got anything? All right. I do, well, I'll say it for next one. Item number 12, reports, section 12, reports about items of community interest. No action will be taken.
Judge, I just wanted to mention that this Sunday, the First Baptist Church of Rockport is going to be celebrating its 150-year anniversary of being established in Aransas County.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big day for the community.
Cool. And I do want to mention, I'm sorry, there was an event at Subaru. I can't remember the name. Is it Ed Hicks?
Probably.
Ed Hicks, okay, where animal control, and I believe, I know I saw some staff there and another chance, they took some dogs out there. I think they took 15 and 5 were adopted. So the community has really come together and we are starting to see dogs go out the door being adopted. Section 13, closed session. I know we don't need to go into closed session, but do we have you for one more meeting? Or two?
I'm sorry,
How many meetings do we have you?
two
before?
more.
2 more, okay.
So are we going into closed session?
It's not needed unless y'all have questions for Jen. That require closed session.
I think it might.
All right.
So I move we close our open session and convene into closed session to consult with counsel and receive legal advice about insurance matters related to Aransas County's projects and insurance claims from Hurricane Harvey, including the following pending litigation: Aransas County, Texas versus Endurance American Specialty Insurance Company et al. Aransas County District Court, cause number 23-0021. And North Star Recovery Service, Inc. versus Aransas County Independent School District and Aransas County, Aransas County District Court, cause number 23-0066, consolidated with North Star Recovery Services, Inc. versus HR and R LLC et al. Aransas County District Court, cause number 20-0159, and Aransas County versus Kathleen Hicks in her official capacity as Director of the Regional Pool Alliance. Aransas County District Court, cause number 23-0069, pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meetings Act, which authorizes closed sessions for a governmental body to consult with its attorneys regarding advice on legal matters pertaining to pending or contemplated litigation or a settlement offer, or on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Open Meetings Act.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dubnik,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. All right, we'll take a 5-minute recess and reconvene closed session.
I met her at a conference.
I move we reconvene into open session.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, 5-0. And now we are not going to take any action discussed in closed session. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, we are done. Thank you. Yep.
I was writing.
We are adjourned. Thank you.